So family, I am super excited about my guest today. My sister, Kim Ford, Media Mogul, is here in the studio with me. Hi.
What up, Krystal? This is my sister, y'all.
How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm sitting next to you.
I am so proud of you.
Thank
I just
you.
want to start the interview off by saying that had to have you on the show. You were just on CNN, HLN, doing your thing.
Yes.
Talk to me just about everything that you have going on and you may not even want to consider yourself a Christian media, practitioner, but me about being a faith-based media mogul.
It's a lot of work, but, I have a vision and a mission. I wanted to make Jesus famous, in other words. So many times Christianity comes across as kind of corny. In the past it has.
Right.
Now it's way more cooler. I started this maybe over 10 years ago.
Wow.
And back then, you couldn't even have too much bass in your music.
Right.
Otherwise you wasn't saved. So I wanted to create an outlet to where young adults can really love Jesus, have conversations that they maybe couldn't have at church. Let's have it online and make it cool. Let's call it an online magazine. So I started that. The first major event that I covered was the BET Hip Hop Awards. Most people was thinking, what's a Christian girl doing at the BET Hip Hop Awards? I'm going there to be a light. Lecrae is walking the carpet. Martin Luther King's daughter is walking the carpet. So, one of the greatest things I heard is that the publisher from the Source magazine saw me on the carpet and he said, I'm so glad that you were here because nobody of faith is coming out here to be a light. And at that point, that validated what I know God called me to do, is to ask them questions about their faith, to get their minds thinking about it, because nobody else is asking them those questions that leads them to, real life questions.
Right.
To think, why am I really here? What am I doing?
So you are a super mom and an entrepreneur. Like, how do you do all of this? In the midst of chasing your dreams, you have a really, really great testimony on your Instagram about your CNN story. How do you manage all of this?
Man, I just go. I'm always in go mode. I'm a single mom. I have 2 children. One just graduated from college.
Yay!
Yay! Shout out to Jalen Ford. My son is in middle school. He plays football. And I just want to be really intentional with my parenting. I want them to be strong and confident. And I'm their first example of you can have your dreams and still be there for your children too. And when the CNN opportunity came, my son was in the car with me, and I got the call, and I was like, CNN just called me and asked me to be on. He was like, what? Are you serious? And I'm like, yes, so cool. I'm going to be going on talking about film. And I told my daughter, and it's just like great for them to see how I started, and where I'm going, and for them to see the elevation.
Your faith play out in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to, not just single moms, but those who want to get into media, that want to do what you do? It's tough, Kim. I know myself. It's tough.
It's not.
What would you say for them to do?
Make sure this is what you want to do. It's not the field to get in if you just want to be on the scene.
And just be cute and be on Instagram.
Exactly. If you just want to be with the celebs, this is not for you, because you are going to quit. When you're just starting, the money is not there for a minute until you do something very significant.
Right.
You have to pay your dues. Sometimes you're going to do a lot of free work. That's why a lot of people, when they want to intern for me, they exclude themselves because they can't handle the pressure.
Yeah.
After the carpet is over, they think that we're done. Oh no, ma'am!
It's
time
just
to edit.
beginning.
We just started. I've had to fire interns because they're more so taking selfies of themselves and helping me. So make sure this is what you want to do. Make sure you are a great storyteller. Even Jesus was a great storyteller.
Come on, Kim.
Jesus was a great storyteller. That's why storytelling is so important to me. I have to tell my story. You have to tell your story, because that frees the people. Right? They may see what we do and be like, oh, it's so glamorous, but no, what's pushing us to do it? We have to tell our stories, and most times it ain't pretty. Mine is not pretty. When I was going through a divorce, I started this magazine as my way of, what am I going to do with the next phase of my life? Because when I was married, I couldn't do it.
Wow.
I could not do it. Not in that particular marriage. If you're in a great one, you by all means can do it if you have someone supporting you. That wasn't my situation. So I could either sit in my bed with the windows closed and the lights out and crying every day, or I can pick myself up and figure out what is the next phase of my life going to be like. And so from that point on, I I was focused. I studied the greats. I studied Oprah. I watched Ryan Seacrest. I watched how people, because my degree is in psychology. It's not in media. I didn't study it. But I know when there's a great story, and I know when other celebrities have a great story of overcoming things, that's what I want the people to know. And so that's what caught the attention of the CNN producer. She was already following me, and I had no idea. I had no idea.
You never know who's watching.
You never know who is watching you. And I was at a conference, and I just went up to her and say, hey, I want to pitch myself for CNN, or at least tell me what I need to do to get to that level. And she, long story short, she already knew who I was. She followed me. We was going to talk, and they had a producer meeting and say, hey, we were thinking about doing this entertainment segment. She was like, I know exactly who I want to come, and they have entertainment correspondents there already.
It doesn't matter, because when he tells you yes,
because God will
that's
bring you from the
yes.
back and bring you to worldwide television.
Absolutely.
When they already have people there, it is such a testament of being faithful. I was talking to somebody earlier. I said patience is my testimony, because being in this industry will humble you. When you think it's your turn, something will show you that it's not. Or you're gonna stop and quit, or you're gonna keep going and still move in excellence.
Well, I am so proud of you. Thank you for continuing to be faithful and being a supportive woman in this industry. You always support me, this show, and everything we do, and you know that the same is for you. How do we follow you on social media?
Yes, follow me everywhere at I am Kim Ford. I have so many things that I want to, show other young journalists. If this is what you want to do, media entrepreneurship, follow me. I got something for you.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Krystal.
Yay.